me down. All right, hello everybody and welcome at tonight's Div2 Sim Race SA 2021.2 coverage. I am glad to be hosting the Div2 race tonight, and alongside me I have Mr. Pieter Geldenhuis in the booth. Pieter, how are you?
Yeah, good evening, Sas. I'm doing very well, and yeah, hello everyone on the YouTube channel. I'm looking forward to a nice race tonight, and I'm actually very anxious to be here because this is my first time doing the commentating setup, and I hope it will go well.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I had some technical difficulties with that first video playing. Not sure why it stopped playing so quickly, but that is not important. Going to start heading on over into tonight's race. There's a lot happening around the field. Drivers should almost be pulling out of the pit soon. Hopefully the qualifying session will start in a moment. In the meanwhile, I'm quickly going to just run through what tonight entails. So we're at the Okayama circuit in Japan, I believe. It's a lovely little circuit. I had my Div1 race on there on Monday night, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what the drivers can pull out tonight. Very nice long back straight there. You can really catch a draft there to try and make an overtake stick, but then you go on to the very difficult to navigate and constantly elevation changing in that last sector, which it makes it a really nice and tough track. You need to apply a lot of throttle control, as Stanley said on Monday. In terms of our track weather, it's nice and early in the morning. Heavy clouds out. Unfortunately, we can't have rain in Assetto Corsa, but hopefully maybe one day soon with the custom shaders patch. Unfortunately, we have to make do. It's a nice 28 degrees Celsius. With a slight bit of rain there, and we're starting on a nice and rubbered in track. Hopefully, everybody doing laps is something to improve that situation as well. Then, lastly, quickly going to jump to the HLQ results. So on Monday, Alan did share the HLQ results from Div1, and it was a rather intense battle to try and get there with the new season structure. We're running promotions and demotions from each race, so the top three in the lower divisions will be promoted to the next division, with the bottom three finishers in the race making their way into a lower division for the next race. Right, so looking at the HLQ results, we've got Bradley Taylor there. I can't remember by how much he missed out on Div1. Peter, I don't know if you maybe have that accessible somewhere on Discord.
Let's just have a look here. Yeah, Bradley Taylor was basically a few hundredths of a second.
A few hundreds. So
yes.
He just didn't make the cut. With if I'm reading this correctly, a 19.2 in his hot lap quali time. I almost... Ooh. Where is my interface gone?
Yeah, I must say this says to just go in here. I saw the Division 1 qualifying top to bottom. There was a 1.7 second difference, and incidentally I looked at the Division 2 qualifying for HLQ, and I saw the top and bottom guys were also 1.7 from each other. So that's quite interesting. It's quite a tight field, and yeah, lots to make up for. Yeah.
I am not 100% sure what's going on right now. My timing tower isn't showing. I'm going to have to apologize and quickly restart my game. I'll be in the meantime, let's maybe take a quick ad break. Apologies everybody. I'm also having some growing pains, it seems. Okay, looks like we're back. Yes, I can see volume moving again. Apologies everybody, just had to quickly restart my game. My HUD had disappeared for whatever reason. Right, so in terms of quali, I'm gonna king through tower here. Aiden Skuman just getting across the line. He's about 2/10 up on his delta, which will push him up into 5th. But our youngster, Mr. Jude Stewart, managing a 19.5 up into the front of the field. And I'm on Dirk Brunt right now. He is coming through the last few corners there, it seems. Also 2/10 up on his delta. He's been at the top, at the sharp end of the Div2 HLQ sessions, so that bumps him up into 6th position.
Just looking at the tires, Jude Stewart is on a medium, and the next guy is Hansen is on a soft. Hendrik Hansen, so he's running softs for qualifying. The other guys looks like mediums.
Yeah, the soft tires, of course, being very, very sensitive around this track. It's a very fast track. You need to be careful and nurse your tires throughout your outlap, and then you basically have one lap. At the end of that lap, they're a bit hot, and they've lost that nice optimal grip that they can provide at the start of their life. Right.
Now, see, sometimes the guys going on softs tend to push it a bit too hard and then overcook before the temperatures before they start their flying lap, and you don't get the optimum performance out of that. So it's actually a bit wise or wiser to go out on the mediums, get some temperature in, and then nail it on the second lap.
Yeah, I'm seeing young Jude Stewart going out for another outlap there. I'm not sure who else is on a decent hot lap. I've seen Manuel. He's coming up the back straight right now. He's 4/10 up on his delta, so that's going to give him a rather substantial bump if you can. Oh no, he's throwing it away all there at the hairpin. Maybe he can still pull a rabbit out of the hat here at the last view in the last sector.
See Ronald Childs as well. He's 0.4 up on his delta.
Just to quickly hop to YouTube, just saying hello there to Alan. See Sharon Skuman there, Maria Skuman as well, Adele van Rensburg, Ek Gee Op, I'm not sure who that is, Heining Racing, Ruan Stevens. Hello everybody, welcome to tonight's stream. We're excited to have you here. Hopefully it's going to be a good race for us tonight.
Ronald Childs is still on a very good lap. If he can put it together on the main straight, he was up 0.6, but he lost some time. Now stays in 4th place.
Oh no, he bumps into
he
3rd place actually.
Yes, that's great.
Right, so I jumped to John Stewart. I apologize, John. Commentator's curse is going to be strong with me tonight. I'm already a little flustered over having some technical issues. So apologies. Hopefully you can go out and start a good next lap to try and improve. See Mr. Henrik Hansen pushing up into 10th there. And Johan Carines jumps up into 6th, followed by, I think it is Ryan van Wyk in 7th position. Okay, so I'm still on board with John. He's right on his bubble. I think he's managed to put together oh no, it wasn't quite the exit that I was hoping for on this back straight, although he's slowly improving.
Bradley Taylor is also on a good lap. If he can take it around the last corner, 0.5 about up. Lose a little bit of time down the straight. See where he goes.
Bradley Taylor jumps into first. I'm still on board with John Stewart there. He's 2/10 up on his delta. If he can keep it nice and clean in this last... Oh no, he snapped just a snap of oversteer there. That's going to put him into a position of having to go out for another lap. He's lost quite a bit of time with that. It's a very, very tricky section there. Oh, and I see someone in the background, one of my team members spinning, not quite sure who that is. Hopefully you can get the car off of the...
Stewart is also 0.5 up. And he goes into first.
Oh, just as I click him, he jumps away on my tower. Well done to young Jude. He's been a very promising racer with us. I know he's done quite well for himself in the go-karting world. Okay, I just jumped to Aiden Skuman, who does a 120.1. I don't know if that improved his time quite as much as he had hoped. Okay. Oh no, Rob manages a bit of a bad spin. Okay. So I'm on Dirk Brandt right now. He's coming through Moss into Atwood Curve, so that's putting him onto the back straight. 2.5 tenths up on his delta. He's probably still got some time in his back pocket throughout the last sector there. So I'm going to stick with him a bit to see where his race takes him. Bit of a bad lock up there, but he's managing still to hold on to a almost 4 tenths delta right now. I see Adrian Nell and Sean Bingham there as well. Jovan Oosthuizen. Hello, everybody. Oh, and Dirk loses a bunch of time there. He's now only half a tenth up on his delta. Maybe he can push it to a tenth. That will improve him into 10th position. Hopefully he still has time for another good lap. Not sure if he has to cool down the tires a bit or if he can just jump straight into it. Not him. You must let me know if you find some good deltas there, Peter.
Yes, I'm browsing, and at this time everyone is basically about on the hot laps, doing more or less the same lap times.
In 9th, Peter van Rensburg. He's now 1/10 up on his delta, 3/10 up on his delta coming out of Piper there. This last sector it's one of the places where you can lose or gain a lot of time depending on how your lap turns out. It's all about the throttle control.
Totally, yes. I see a lot of guys in the first section almost 0.5 up and then losing everything on the last sector.
Oh, and Peter just losing it. He's only 1/100th up. That slightly improves his time, but it's not going to be quite... Okay, I'm with Rob van der Juffer now. He is half a tenth up, and he's coming through Hobbs now. It's only the last 2 corners of the track to go. That last corner is a very, very tricky one. You can lose a lot of time if you don't get a decent exit out of there. Ooh, he runs slightly wide. I think that might have invalidated his lap, but even if it didn't, it cost him a bunch of time. That was almost a second that he lost on running wide alone.
He would have jumped up to probably about 7 or 8 with 0.5, 0.6 up. Sorry for that one, Rob.
Okay, just double checking. People must please let me know if the volume of the game is maybe too soft or too loud. Also seeing Mark Jansen van Rensburg in the YouTube chat there. Hello, Mark. Welcome. See, we've got a total of 20 concurrent viewers tonight, so it's turning out to be quite a good turnout. Ryan Hill down in 20th position. I think he's coming down the back straight. He's 4 tenths up on his delta. Oh, he's just slightly early on the brakes there, maybe almost locking up a bit, but he's still maintaining a positive delta. Although saying that, I think coming through Revolver, it was just he didn't quite have the throttle control to lay down to get a good exit out there.
It seems a Revolver is quite a tricky one. I see most of the guys losing 2-3 tenths when they're hitting that corner.
Okay.
So Johan Carines is on a nice lap, about 0.4, 0.5 under his fastest time.
One of the LLC racers. See Rob Walker there shouting for Ryan. And Lynn Taylor shouting for Bradley. Really loving the turnout. So yeah, Johan jumps up into 5th. That's a very, very good lap by him. Quickly looking, that was on medium tire. We are into overtime right now. So the last few drivers will just be finishing their laps now. Although everyone is sitting in pits, so we should be heading on over into the race start. We'll switch to a quick ad break and see everybody shortly. Okay, and we are back. Let me just check. My car is off the grid. Trying to find a nice camera of the field here. Right. So quickly gonna run through the grid. Jude Stewart on first. Bradley Taylor on second position there. Followed by Craig Hunter. Mr. Ronald Childs in 4th. Johan Carines in 5th. Ryan van Wyk in 6th position. Aiden Skuman in 7th. Jotan van Aswegen on 8th position, Pieter van Rensburg in 9th, and Dirk Brandt in 10th. Right, we're almost heading into lights. Usually around the 10-second mark, the lights start showing, and we have some lights there. Everybody is going to be flooring it very soon. Should be hearing those engines rev up. Not quite. They drop the clutch and away they go. Right up in the background there, seeing some cars having a bit of issues. But Bradley Taylor managing... Is it... sorry, Craig Hunter. He's not in the correct livery, if I'm looking correctly here tonight. But okay, it looks like most of the cars, there's some calamity down at the back, but most of the cars seem settled into position now. So young Jude Stewart manages to hold on to his first position. He's followed by, I think, Bradley Taylor, followed by Craig Hunter, followed by Ronald Childs. And I see Dirk Brandt managing an overtake on Johan Carines. Dirk having a really good start. I think he started all the way back in 10th position.
No, Dirk is up from 10th to up to 5th, yes.
Hopping over to Aiden Skuman and Ryan van Wyk. They're having quite a close battle here. I think both drivers part of the Sim Race Extreme team, so not sure if there's team orders here tonight or if they're just gunning it as hard as they can. In terms of tire selection, looking up and down through the field, all I can see is Benjamin Wheeler on hards, the rest of the field all on medium tires.
Yeah, totally everyone on mediums, only Benjamin in the hard, yeah.
Okay, so Aiden managing to pull a gap there on Ryan van Wyk, and Johan Carines has managed to slip past. Just going to switch back to that battle. Yassine Manuel is also saying, I want part of this action. Looked like there was... Oh no, it was my imagination. Ooh, Ryan running into the back there. We have seen Manuel running into the back of Ryan van Wyk. But they keep it going nice and cleanly.
See, Ronald Childs made a move on Craig Hunter, so he's now into 3rd position.
Okay, so I'm still sticking with the battle between Johan Carines and Ryan van Wyk. They're running nose to tail. All about getting good clean exits, trying to capitalize on the position. Wings opening with this season's DRS rule allowed. It's great seeing that again. Makes it for an interesting extra bit of strategy, and Johan Carines just sails past. Ooh, no, Benjamin Wheeler disconnecting from the server. He's clearly not having... the race is not going his way tonight.
See, there's a good battle for 9th position with Jotan van Asbergen and Yassine Manuel. Very close as well.
And they're also closely followed by Stephen Kenny.
Stephen Kenny, yes.
Yeah, I'm seeing a few cars of a few drivers in cars that aren't quite matching their liveries. We're gonna have to have a few team talks here, it seems. We are running on this SimRacing.gp platform, which has made our hosting process a lot simpler, and it's providing us with a lot of nice results processing functionality. But unfortunately, one of the downfalls is we don't have custom livery support yet. We're working with a workaround, but it does mean that there are some mistakes that slip in with drivers not in the correct livery. Hopefully we can sort that out by next round. Right, I'm looking up and down the field, still seeing Ronald Childs running very close to Bradley Taylor. It's not a very, very close gap, but it is they're not opening up a gap as much as one would expect at the front end of the field. Jude Stewart is a second in front of them, but he's not making that gap much larger very quickly. So it will be interesting to see how this race pans out. I see down Stephen Kenny falling down. I think he had a bit of a spin there. Aiden Skuman seems to be right on the back of Dirk Brandt there, or very close to Dirk Brandt. In 6th position, trying to go and take the battle to 5th.
I see Rob van der Heever also had a problem and went off, so he safely rejoined again, and I think Stephen Kenny just passed him, so he'll be picking up some speed soon.
seeing Sharon Skuman saying that the sim racing extreme liveries are making the track look good. Right, Yassine Manuel getting the overtake on Jotan van Aswegen for 9th position. But Jotan is right there. He's diving up on the inside. No, not quite. They are beautiful. They're just giving each other enough space there to see what can unfold. Going onto the back straight, it's going to be about sitting in that draft, trying to get alongside, maybe going for the outbraking maneuver. Jotan just poking his nose out, trying to get the downforce in the braking zone.
I see Aiden Skuman as well. He's right behind Dirk Brandt. The battle for 5th place.
5th place. I'm keeping my eye on that, where I'm still following Jotan van Aswegen, but as soon as this gap opens up, I'll move up the field. I see down in 15th position, Stephen Kenny is also right on the back of Rob van der Jefer. Okay, Dirk Brandt doing 127 as well as Aiden Skuman. Although Aiden has had a moment.
He outbrake himself going into the first corner.
That's
a little bit late
unfortunate.
on the brakes.
That's so unfortunate. You're trying to ride a very, very fine edge, and a small mistake can cost you dearly. Looks like the current battle is for 9th position. Jotan van Aswegen is not letting up. He is trying to stay as close to Yassine as possible. Slight lock up there, but he does manage to pull it back into control. Oh, that was Ryan Hill that spun. That they just passed. I'm not quite sure what happened there.
Seems also like Ronald Childs and Bradley Taylor for in 2nd and 3rd place. Get Ronald getting some speed, and then he loses a bit in some corners. So they've got this 0.4, 0.5 within a 1 second gap between each other the whole time.
It's a bit of an ebb and flow with whoever is better in the one section. Jotan throwing it up on the inside there. Oh, it just locks up and can't make the overtake stick. That was a beautiful move. Unfortunate for him. He just pushed his luck a little bit too far. Quickly getting back to chat, I see Rob asking about adding flags to the tracks. It's possible. It's just a bit of work, and it's not. I had a lot of time. I don't have a lot of time to go and do that for every track these days. Although we can maybe look into finding a way to some willing individuals, so we can go and add some flags and get some track setups ready. Cool. Still scanning up and down the field. Closest battle after this one is for 2nd position. Ronald Childs is still on the back of Bradley Taylor there. It's a gap of about 0.8 of a second. It's not quite opening up 100%. Although I'm wondering if Ronald is maybe allowing Bradley a bit of breathing room so that they can try and work together to gain on young Jude up in front. If you're seeing the driver in front, Jude Stewart he's gone off. I missed that he went off.
Oh no, Williams.
He's had a bit of a rough moment there in turn 2, I think. So that puts Bradley Taylor up in front, and Ronald Childs is going to try and hold on to him, and take that battle throughout the race. Right, in 12th position, George Reitenbach is on the back of Jevan Tareka. George being one of our Sim Race SA newbies. He said he's a big F1 fan, so he decided to sign up, and he was a bit worried about what to expect tonight, but it's looking like he's managing to keep the car under control and having a nice dice along.
See the battle for fourth between Dirk Brandt and Aiden Skuman.
Ooh.
Also still within half a second the most of the time, and Dirk just managing that gap.
Yeah, Dirk is an old hand at this. Just giving a quick update. Jevan Tarika had a bit of a moment there. He ran wide and off the track, which allowed George to get a clean overtake there. I'm hopping forwards now a bit. Jotan van Aswegen is still putting pressure there on Yassine Manuel. Not sure why this camera... it's like it's trying to sit on the mountain and it's just capturing everything in front of it.
There's some interesting fact on the track when I looked at the layout of the track, and the first corner is actually, its name is first corner, and the last corner is actually named last corner. I don't know if you saw that on...
I've seen that. It's always fun for me to see track corner names. Although what I like about a naming scheme like that, especially for the first and last corner, is you don't have to rely on corner numbers to determine where you are. You can just call it first corner or last corner.
See, George Rotenbach had a little bit of a problem there, and he just Stephen Kenny just passed him again.
Okay.
It seems like he's picking speed up again.
It's difficult keeping these cars under control. I see Jotan has managed to get an overtake on Yassine Manuel there, but I'm hopping forward to Aiden Skuman. He's still within that 0.8 second gap behind Dirk. They're running very close to one another. Lap times I've seen has been very close. It's like he just can't quite close that gap as much as he'd like, and Dirk is just managing it away, maybe smiling ear to ear while he can have this dice.
Yeah, the battle between Jotan and Yassine. Jotan was ahead of him in the last corner. He had a little slide, and Yassine on the main straight passed him again. But now Jotan is now straight back behind him.
Okay.
Within about 2.
Sorry, I'm jumping to Ronald Childs. He has closed up that gap to Bradley Taylor quite a bit. He's usually been running about 0.8 of a second behind Bradley, but he's now within half a second and looking to get within striking distance. Just coming through the last corner there, slightly wide it seemed, as he's sitting in the toe of Bradley Taylor there, maybe not having enough downforce to keep him going. Quickly going to just look at pit strategies. So I know most people ran a 50-50 strategy on mediums on Monday night. Not so... Who was it? Benjamin Wheeler, who was on hard tires. He's not on track anymore.
Yes.
So it's all medium tires for the rest of the field. I am expecting the pit window to be opening around the 25-minute mark. It's maybe still a bit early for people to be coming in right now, but hopefully we can start seeing what's going to unfold. Maybe there's a bit of a shakedown with pit strategies tonight.
See George Rotenbach and Johan Carines for the battle for 14th had a turnaround. George passed Johan. So there's little battles all over the place. Rob van der Heuvel and Javan Tarika. He's also having battle for 10th place.
Now there's a bit of a switch around. I think Tarika had a moment. I'm with Johan Carines now, and right up in front of him, it's Tarika and George Reitenbach. So he's going to be trying to get through this very soon. Johan managing a pretty decent qualifying, if I remember correctly, but he's fell down quite a bit in the field. He's trying to see if he can make his drive back into a good finishing position. And Henrik Hansen is also trying to get in on this fight. Ooh, it looks like Johan Carines might have the better exit here. Can he just ensure that he gets a clean braking zone? Yes, he does. He gets past Costa Rica there. And Henrik Hansen is going to try and get in on this action soon as well.
I see battle for fourth. Aiden Skuman is now right behind the
Sorry,
Brand as well.
I'm jumping up into second position there. So this is the battle for first. Ronald Childs still within half a second of Bradley Taylor. Onto the main straight. I don't think he has quite the gap to close it in there. He's going to be trying to get under that wing for the back straight, I'm sure. I'm having a bit of a chuckle there at Rob Walker's statement. If Ronald Childs has a child, we'll have to call him Ronald Childs' child. That's a tongue twister for you. Okay, in ninth. Oh no, Jotan van Aswegen almost beaching his car. Looked like he was running very close to Yassine, so he's trying to get back to track, just making sure that he can get a clean rejoin. It's a bit difficult trying to do so when you're joining against traffic, but he does it nice and safely, gets going. It's now going to be all about making sure that he doesn't overheat the tires too much from the get-go.
Yeah, nice little battle between George Rautenbach and Peter van Rensburg. They are, I see Peter get caught up to George.
Gaps expanding a little all across the field. Ronald Childs, I'm watching that gap with a hawk eye. Peter looking like he's got a very good exit here. Let's see if he can get alongside. I don't think he's going to be able to get there in the braking zone. He's going to have to fall behind George for this bendy section and try and make an overtake stick elsewhere. In the meanwhile, I'm hopping back to Ronald Childs in second position. They have just lapped. I'm not sure who they just lapped, but it's one of my liveries there, the NSIR teams. Childs is really he's making Bradley work. It seems like Bradley has to focus really hard on keeping consistent laps, else he's going to risk Childs getting past him on a mistake made by him.
I'm just tracking Jotan van Aswegen, so I think he decided to, after that off that he had, it's probably time for a pit stop, and he's out again.
Okay, so this is a good time. We're at about 26 minutes left. I suspect Jotan has a bit of had a bit of damage from his off, so he was trying to go and rather fix that and made peace with running a bit of a longer stint on the new tires than he might have wanted. Right.
Yeah, what I also sometimes do, as soon as I've got a problem or accident, I normally, if it's not too far from pit stop window, I rather go into the and you get your mind up and running again, settled, and then take it from there again.
Especially in these cars, Alan was a bit flabbergasted on Monday night over how much the medium tires can overheat after a spin, and my experience has been, if you're not careful, once you have slid for a distance on the tires, it's very easy to put your foot down too aggressively when getting going again and spinning the car out. You need to keep a clear head, and as you're saying, it's sometimes just helpful going into pits, finding your center again, and trying to settle down with a fresh set of tires with the car that's been fixed to do some decent laps. I'm jumping back to John Stewart, who's being closely followed by Johan Carines. Carines having a bit of a look there. I'm sure he's going to try and get it around. And I see Aiden Skuman has dove into the pits. He has a bit of a gap to Yassine Manuel, although I'm not sure if that's quite enough to allow him to pull out ahead. Yassine passes, but I think he's definitely going to come out of the pits in front of Rob van der Heever.
Yeah, Yassine ran a little bit wide there.
Okay, so Stephen Kenny is also in the pits. Ronald Childs. I'm kind of putting my money. Ooh, Bradley Taylor has a slight bit of a moment there. Coming through last corner, I'm wondering if it's going to come down to which one of them blinks first for their pit stop. Keeping in mind that an undercut, I'm not sure how powerful the undercut really is on this track. If you go for a pit stop, you're refueling, so you're adding back weight into the car, which might not allow you to leverage the fresh tires as much as you'd hope.
See, Jude Stewart and Ruan van Wyk had a little battle, and Ruan van Wyk actually went wide into turn 1.
Okay, so Jude is trying to drive his way back and just quickly jumping to him. He's had a bit of a moment there with the crash that he had, but he's keeping his head down. He's trying to work hard at just doing some decent laps. I'm sure he's waiting for the rest of the field to also go and pit. I can't remember if I saw Jude Stewart pitting.
No, not yet.
Ronald Childs has passed Bradley Taylor. Bradley Taylor is into the pits. Okay.
That's going to be interesting to see where he gets out, and hopefully don't get traffic that keeps him up.
Yes, that is going to be the moment. I'm seeing Childs spinning up the rears a bit there. The tires might be starting to give in, so he's hoping that he can do a decent lap now that he's been freed into the clear air. It's a difficult choice to make.
Well, Bradley Taylor is out and into 4th place.
And he has a back marker in front of him, if I'm looking correctly. So if he can get by cleanly, he should have a bit of clean air in front of him.
Yeah, Jotun is right in front of
okay,
Bradley.
is that Jotun? Right.
I'm just tracking Ronald Charles to see if he's going to go to pit. He's almost at the last sector.
Okay, so he's gone through Hobbs now. I don't think he's coming into pit. He's going through Mike there. I'm not sure if he's going to extend his lead by enough. Okay, Dirk Brandt makes his way past Craig Hunter, who I'm assuming went into pits.
Yeah, Craig Hunter went into pits.
My gut is telling me Dirk is both Dirk and Ronald Childs is possibly they're trying to use the clean air to put down some fast laps that will hopefully put them up a few positions when they then go and pit. In the back there, Jude Stewart right on the tail of Bradley Taylor. They're going past the back marker there. I think Bradley Taylor did not get the exit that he had hoped for, so Jude is going to pull alongside. They're gonna go side by side into the hairpin there. Can they keep it nice and clean? Give one another the space? Yes, they can. I think Bradley Taylor may be hoping for a bit of a cutback, but it's not quite possible on this hairpin. Okay.
Yeah, Ronald Charles still keeping out, not pitting.
Bradley is not letting go yet.
A battle for 6th place. Aiden Skuman just behind.
Yassine Manuel, yes, and I see Ryan van Wyk is in the pits. So both Dirk and Ronald Child still running up in front, seeing if they can extend this stint and run with less fuel on much fresher tires to try and gain some positions maybe. Yeah,
yeah, Ronald Charles had a spin, and yeah, so I'm
he's going into pits now. Yeah. Okay, so maybe Ronald pushed it just a bit too far. Tires weren't quite gripping as much as he was hoping. He has a gap of about 20 seconds to Dirk. I can't remember how much time you lose in a pit stop. I think I remember someone saying about 20 seconds, but I do see Jude Stewart going past, so that means Bradley Taylor is going past. Dirk Brandt is also in the pits then. Okay.
Now Bradley just passed Ronald Charles. So yeah, Charles, I think that last spin just made him lost that half a second that he needed.
Something I'm not 100% sure about is if Jude had pitted yet. I know he fell back quite a bit. My gut is telling me he didn't go and pit. So
yeah, he hasn't pitted yet.
He's going to be nursing some tires for a while. Well, if he's nursing tires, he might not have the pace to stay up in front. And I don't think that there's really a lot of clear air. He might have to make the call soon to go and pit. Okay.
Aiden Skuman and Yassine Manuel still at it, about 0.5 seconds from each other.
In the back there, Ryan van Wyk and Rob van der Heever switching places. John Stewart is in the pits. Everybody is still moving around. I think that we will be seeing the field settle after all of the pit stops. I'm just keen to see. Ooh, Bradley Taylor.
Yeah, Jude.
Oh, Jude went into the pits. Okay, I thought for a moment the gap had closed very nicely there, so that we can watch a battle unfold. Okay, all in, just Bradley Taylor is now 1.5 seconds ahead of Ronald Childs. So that is putting. I don't think Childs' strategy has paid off for him if he's that far behind. He was basically on Bradley's tail there, so he's dropped back by more than a second.
Yeah, I think that you mentioned it. Maybe I pushed it a bit too far.
Yes, you mentioned he had a spin just before he entered pit, so that might have cost him a lot of time. In which case, it might have worked out in his favor. Fourth, and so battle for fourth. Aiden Skuman is right on the tail of Yassine Manuel, and he is being followed close by Dirk Brandt. Okay, so Jude Stewart, after his pit stop, looks like he is now in third position. There's 15 minutes left. I don't know if he's lapping at a pace that's quicker than the rest of the field. I'll try and keep an eye on the timing tower. 125 by Ronald Childs. Jude Stewart should be crossing the line soon.
Although past Aiden.
Okay, Jude Stewart 123, so I'm assuming that's because it was his outlap. If he wants to close that gap, he'll have to start lapping very quickly. He doesn't have a lot of time to try and close that gap to Ronald Childs. Still focused on this battle for 5th, 6th and 7th position. Craig Hunter has said he also wants in on this action. Oh, and George Rotenbach disconnects from the server. Maybe things weren't quite going his way. That's unfortunate. Still a relatively large field out and about, trying to get some good clean laps in.
Well, basically the 4, 5, 6, 7 battle is shaping up nicely. With Dirk just behind Yasin.
As Rob Walker said, Dirk is an old hand at this. I'm sure he's going to be pulling out all of the stops with Yasin, pressuring him, and he's running nose to tail there. Slides it around that corner. Can he keep it together for this next one? And he does. I think that might have given him a very good exit as well. There's a bunch of cars on the straight. And Dirk manages an overtake on Yasin there. Nice and clean. Rest of the field behind him is also still settling in. Just gonna hop back to Aiden Skuman, who's now on the tail of Yasin. Yasin struggling a little there. Quickly looking through the field again after the pit stops. Everybody is still on medium tires. Nobody switched it up. They're running what they're consistent in right now, and that what they can manage.
Aiden Yasin, they had it for a while now, and now it's shaping up to be a very nice battle at the end.
It's always fun to see these battles play out at the end of the race. Seeing Dirk running very defensively there in front, maybe trying to break the toe a bit with everyone following behind. But after pit stops is also usually when you start seeing some of the gaps extending a bit as people move about up and down the field. Things start getting a bit sketchy here and there. This is the closest battle that we have right now. Quickly just going to hop to Bradley Taylor. He's about 1.5 seconds ahead of Ronald Childs. So Childs not quite managing to close that gap just yet. There's about 11 minutes left. Not sure how many laps that would be. I'm not going to even try and calculate that in my head right now. But Bradley Taylor has done very well for himself up in first position there. And as I say that, I see Aiden Skuman must have had a bit of a moment. He's allowed Craig Hunter to get by.
Yes, he had a spin, and yeah, he luckily didn't fall off the track, and kept it on the track. Now he needs to just get up to speed again.
Running on board with Craig Hunter now. You see 2 cars up ahead. That looks to be Yasin Manuel. Not sure about Dirk. Dirk Brandt is much further ahead, so that's a back marker. Oh no, they yeah, Craig was behind the back marker. He's now past him, and he's trying to get start closing the gap on Yasin Manuel up in front. Bit of a lockup, but keeps it going.
I also mentioned, after pit stops, the gaps are starting to get bigger as the guys getting settled and rather holding positions for a good finish. And sometimes you don't want to push too hard and then lose all your hard work during more than half of the race.
That is very true. And another thing, 45 minutes does not sound like a lot, but in these cars they can really tire you out. You have to work hard at keeping consistent. So fatigue might
Definitely.
also be setting in, causing people to rather let up and not push as hard, so that they can just make sure they're running consistently. Craig Hunter really closing this gap on Yassine now. It's down to half a second. Yassine seems to be struggling a bit here and there in the braking zones, not quite getting the exits that he needs to ensure that he can stay ahead. Craig Hunter is in the tow, but not quite enough. I vaguely remember you having to be very close to someone on this back straight to get an overtake done by the hairpin.
See, while that battle is going, we've got a battle for 9th between Stephen Kenya and Ruan van Wyk. Ruan also right at the back of Stephen.
Oh, Stephen just locking up there, but staying ahead. Through Atwood Curve, it's all about making sure that you get a clean exit here. Open that DRS wing on time, so you don't lose too much time during this acceleration zone, and then get a clean exit out of this hairpin. There's a bump just as you exit the hairpin, and if you're not careful and you put your foot down on the throttle too hard, it leads to the car just spinning completely, and you have to then live with the fact that you're turned around and have to try and rejoin blindly, not necessarily sure if there are other cars on their way. Ooh. Not 100% sure what happened there. Maybe Steven turned in a bit quickly, maybe Ryan ran a bit wide. It does look like Ryan is waiting for Steven, so it's all going to come down to Steven being able to get turned around, get going again. It's going to allow Johan Carines to get past, and Ryan does wait for Steven, it seems. That's the type of racing we want to see. If people feel like it was their fault, take the moment and wait, yield that position back to the driver that you were involved with. Right, so Steven does make a mistake coming there out of the last corner, but Ryan does not quite capitalize on it. In the back there, Jotan van Aswegen managing an overtake on, I think, Henrik Hansen. As I say that, Hansen spins in the background.
As we remember, Jotan had that off earlier in the race, pitted early, and he was, I think, almost last, and was up to 13th position again. So good drive, recovery drive.
Definitely. Craig Hunter is still on the prowl with Yassine Manuel half a second behind him, and I see Ronald Childs has also closed the gap very nicely. Wow, Craig Hunter running just wide. That's not the line that you want to take. Manages to keep it under control. It's very difficult when you run wide there to not run straight into the barrier, but he's done very well for himself there. As I wanted to switch to Ronald Childs, he's fallen behind by 4 seconds now. So he was there, but then lost it and couldn't quite keep it together.
Now battle for 5th. Craig Hunter just outbrake himself in Redmond corner.
He's now in the kitty litter. Ooh, almost beached the car. He does keep it rolling. And that was what I was talking about. You've got warm tires. They're dirty. It's difficult to come through these difficult corners and keep the car under control.
Is Stephen Kenny also at the hairpin at the problem, and is
Jotan van Aswegen next to, who is that? I'm not sure. I think that might be a back marker. It's definitely not Jude Stewart.
as Bradley Taylor went into the last corner on the main straight, he almost had a issue with the back marker. Which probably would have cost him the lead, but luckily he kept it together.
So I'm still on this battle for 11th. Jotan is doing well to try and hunt down... it's not Jude, it's John Stewart, sorry. Does let someone by though, so... I think there was a front runner that had a bit of a moment which allowed Jotan to get the overtake, well, unlap himself, but then unfortunately he didn't quite have the pace to stay ahead. I'm hopping over into 15th position. Pieter van Rensburg seems to be relatively close to Henrik Hansen. And I'm also still keeping one eye up at the top there. I'm seeing Jude Stewart has closed the gap. Well, okay, Ronald Childs has lost a lot of time, which has allowed Jude Stewart to close the gap quite a bit. He's 2.8 seconds, 2.5. Well, it's starting to drop down to 2.5 seconds behind him. There might be a battle on the cards in the next lap or two. Not sure where the leader is right now. Gonna quickly hop over there. So Bradley Taylor crosses the finish line now. By my calculation, I think there is still going to be 3 more laps. So he's on the 3rd last lap right now. And then I'm heading back to Pieter van Rensburg. Very, very close there to Henrik Hansen.
Craig Hunter is also trying to get by Aiden. But as soon as he's close by, he tends to run a little wide, lock a brake, the front brakes, and lose all the time.
It's very, very difficult. Oh, and Dirk Brandt manages an overtake on Jude Stewart. I'm not sure what happened there. Dirk is going to be very happy with himself there. That puts him onto the podium. And as things stand right now, barring penalties if penalties are added and everything, and the top 3 don't have any penalties against them, they will see themselves in the Div1 race come next month. Come 4 weeks time when we have our next race.
That's a good promotion for the top 3 guys, and as you say, the bottom 3 guys of Division 1 then relegate to Division 2, and the top 3 of Division 2 promote to Division 1. While everyone is just basically holding positions and see what's going to take them to the end. There's some track data of this Okayama track. The lap record on this track is actually held by our good friend Michael Schumacher in a Benetton 114.0. Was the lap record.
Blisteringly quick. That was, I'm sure that, well, that was done in an F1 car though, so the specs are slightly more powerful. Although considering the F3 cars that we drove here, some of the aliens got into the 117, so they're not that far off. Although I don't think they'll be able to match it in these cars.
Yeah, I must say this F3s are quite rapid around the track. Like you say, not far off. Yeah, I mean this record was done in 1994. Yeah.
Okay, I'm just switching back to Bradley Taylor now. He's coming around the last corner, and it's going to scream down this last straight and into the final lap of the session. So he's done very well for himself. He's got a 13-second gap behind him. He can really ease off pushing too hard and just make sure that he gets the car across the line for a well done finish in first place for the Div2 race. Ronald Childs has also had a pretty decent race. He's had a moment here or there, but he's done well for himself. He's taken second position. He's been holding on to second position very nicely. Even with some of his mistakes, but hopefully he can keep his head down and also relax a bit with the 5-second gap to Dirk to just get the car across the line.
While you were talking, I think Craig Hunter went off track and Aiden passed him for 6th place.
No, that's unfortunate. Sometimes it's difficult when you are your own worst enemy. It's not easy to not let things get to you, and you get flustered, and it's difficult to control yourself. It's tough when that happens to you. But I know Craig Hunter will be pushing hard in the next race, and he'll just be doing his best.
No, Bradley actually goes over the
finish
finals
line there. So well done to Bradley Tyler for a solid win there. Ronald Childs coming around the last corner there for a well-deserved second position. And the same goes for Dirk Brunt coming down the pit straight, weaving back and forth. He is very happy with his podium position. Young Jude Stewart, he's had a bit of an up and down race, but he's showing a lot of potential. I am sure we'll be seeing him very soon take a Div2 race win, and hopefully get himself into Div1 as well. So Yassine Manuel takes 5th position, Aiden Skuman comes into 6th. Craig Hunter takes 7th position. And Rob van der Heever takes 8th, with Johan Carines closing it out in 9th. And that is it. That was tonight's race. All right. Let me quickly...
Yeah, what do they say? Time flies when you're having fun. So yeah, I'm very excited. It was a good race, and thank you guys.
Yeah, I'm quickly going to do this. Let me just try and get back to this one. All right. I am back. I'm gonna quickly get out of the game and try and make my way to see if Bradley Taylor is waiting for us, and he is. I'm gonna pull him in now. Mr. Bradley Taylor, how was that race?
It was insane. Oh, what a race. Well done to all the competitors. Ronald was on me the whole race. My heart was racing the whole time. I had to just keep calm and just keep consistent, and it paid off.
Yeah, when you dove into the pits, were you worried that he was going to get a strong overcut on you, or what went through your mind when you were pitting?
Yeah, so I saw the fuel gauge come on, started going yellow. I was like, oh, let me just pit now, play it safe, not run out of petrol. And then when I came out the pits, I was behind Jude and I think Dirk.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, I'm now behind people, and I don't have open air to gas it out the pits. So I was a little bit worried that he might have got the overcut. But I just made it out on him, and it turned out to be a wonderful race. So exciting.
I really enjoyed it. I'll let you know. So I do think Ronald Childs might have had the overcut work against you. Unfortunately, on the lap that he was pitting, on his in lap, he spun just before the pit entry, which cost him a bit of time. So you did well to keep a nice consistent race to take it to the end. Well done.
Yeah, thanks everyone. Just like to thank all the family and all the friends and Bancroft Racing. Let's go. It's an exciting season ahead.
Everybody's been cheering for you, and it's we're excited for this season. It's been a good kickoff, I think. And yeah, congratulations on the race win.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you for the commentary, and yeah, congrats to everyone. Love the close racing. So exciting. Just what I signed up for.
Nice. Peter, anything from you?
No, all good. Congratulations. Well managed, and yeah, stay safe and stay healthy.
Yeah.
Thanks, everyone.
Cool. Cheers, Bradley.
Yes.
All right, and that closes out the Div2 race for round 1. Peter, I really enjoyed it. What was the highlight for you there?
Yeah, basically, like you say, my first commentating stint. I fortunately did not have the commentator's curse working against me tonight, so thank you for that. I hope I can keep a clean run. But yeah, other than that, exciting race.
Yeah.
all over, battles all over. And yeah, I hope the next one is as exciting as this one.
Definitely. I'm going to quickly provide an update. For those looking at the description, so we have managed to get 22,733 rand and 88 cents donated for Abba already. It's been a great season opener. I'm sure that there's still people keen on joining. So if you are keen on joining, head on over to simracesa.co.za. Find the sign up form there, submit it, and we will get back to you shortly. There's a minimum donation of 150 rand as entry fee, but we overall it's a great place to come and race. Div2's races, well, races across the board tend to be very fun, and there's competition for anybody at any level. So come and join us and enjoy it. Cool. That's it. That's a wrap. First race done, Peter. I'm looking forward to hearing your voice a bit more.
Yeah, but as I say, practice makes perfect. And yeah, thank you. And good night, everyone.
Yeah. Have a good night, everybody.